Okay, hi everyone. Can everyone hear me? Okay, hi. So welcome to today's webinar, the Rainmakers webinar. I have a special guest today, our CEO and founder, Kelv Gan, and he'll be discussing the Rainmakers platform and how we are going to change the way real estate investments is going to be made in the future. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Kelv Gan.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining today's webinar. I'm Kelv. Nice meeting you all. Thanks for spending your precious time with me tonight. First of all, I just want to say sorry because I lost my voice a week ago. So that's the best I had for now, but I'm recovering. So if you have any question along the way, if you did not hear me clear, just raise your hand, or at the end of the sessions, I will have a Q&A sessions. All right. So give me a second. Yeah. June, do you mind to let me share screen, please? Just want to say confirm that, can you all see my screen at this moment? Just probably give me a like or something so that I know that you're are engaging, so that yeah, just make sure that we are on the same page. Cool. All right. So again, first of all, I want to say thank you for everyone spending your time here. I won't waste your precious time. I want to share something that not happening in Malaysia. So I hope this message, this webinar, will give you a very valuable sessions. First of all, this is the Rainmakers. Our slogan here is Together We Own. It's actually a fractional investments journey in real estate. Okay. Just 1 second. So we claim this, the Rainmakers, as a new way to own a property. I've been in the investment industry for more than 10 years. I noticed that there's a lot of ways that stop us to progress. I've seen Grace raise the hand. 1 second. June, can you see Grace raising a hand? Just 1 second, Grace. Sorry. Grace, I think I will take the Q&A session at the end so that along the way, you see how it goes. We stop as we go by like a few slides. Would that be okay? Okay, so the Rainmaker here is all about new way to own properties. So we founded with my co-founder Joe here to make a real estate investment accessible for everyone. And understanding that it's like my niece is here in the talk, in the webinar. At the age of 20 years old to 22 years old, it's actually impossible to own a property. And going towards the schools and work and trying to save up a big down payment, all these things are obstacles. And the main important part is the bank is killing us. The banking system, trying to get a loan from them is haunting. So basically what we're trying to do here is we're trying to cut off all these problems and introducing a new way to own a property. Okay. So this is me, Kelv Gan. My aim here is to provide a real estate online marketplace for everyone. As you know now, conventional way of buying real estate has been very dull, very boring. As if I need to buy something, I need to go through agent. With the agent, I need to go through the banking, and keeping finger crossed that my loan will get approved. And what we are trying to do here is we are trying to create a platform so everyone that see a good property to be invested, they can actually comes in and just say, oh, I want this. All right. And what we're trying to do here is we are lowering down the entry barrier for everyone. Okay. And our vision here is actually to offer a seamless and secure fractional real estate investment platform. And our mission here is to create a great investment opportunity for everyone through the Rainmaker marketplace. Just a little bit of an overview on the market. The real estate industry has been tremendously growth throughout the last few decades, and now standing point about $3.69 trillion. And it is still expected to grow. As you can see what happened in Hong Kong, Singapore, and most of the Malaysia country, it has risen a lot, but the problem is supply is more than the demand now. So this is a few things that good and bad things. So we have to take it progressively. All right. And you have to look at the Asia Pacific market. It's actually standing at $1.4 trillion. It's a huge industry. These are the few problems in the market. Like I mentioned just now, a bit hints off of it just now. A main problem for real estate investment, first thing here, is high entry barrier. For me, I save up all my savings I can, and I couldn't save enough, and I get my help from my sister to try to secure my first loan. And the amount that you need to save is a lot of money. And especially for a young working adult, he probably got to save up like a few years before he can buy a property, correct? And illiquidity is one of the issues that I personally experienced it before. After we purchase a property, it's not so easy that we can sell. See? I probably need to wait like 1 year to 2 years and hoping, finger crossed, that new investors or new buyer will actually take up my property. If it's not, I will still need to stuck and progress with the loan, bank installment and stuff like that. And one of the things here is banking system is the main challenge, hoping that the bank will not reject my loan and approve my loan. So all these problems in the market has stopped people from progressing, people from buying more. And something that I don't have to say, something bankers will be very clear of, debt service ratio. So if I have 2 loans to 3 loans, and if my income don't grow as fast as the property prices, the bank will reject my loan. It's as standard as it is. So besides that, there's also a limited access to deals. As a working adult, working classes like me, I will never plan or never in my mind that I could own a commercial properties. Probably just a block of buildings or maybe a shop lot. It is actually very, very tough for a normal working class to buy that kind of properties. So this is what we call it as a limited access to deals. And none but not least, investment into property should not be bringing a lot of hassle in terms of managing it. So all these are the problems that we are trying to say. And all these problems are stopping us and stopping all the people in Malaysia, not just Malaysia, I think around the world, to progress and buy more properties. So with Rainmakers here, our role is to source and analyze properties. Once we source and analyze, we will liaise with property management to make sure that we deliver returns that we could promise to the investors. And further not, investing property equal to ownership. So that amount that you invested in, no matter 500 ringgit, 5,000, 10,000, even 50,000, you still own the property. That's the key thing, ownership. All right. And a little bit of tip off here will be, this is actually our marketplace. System-wise, it will be actually ready in April. So investors that invested, they will be able to log in and see through the things that they invested in. And on the right side, on the right part here is what you call the marketplace, where the investors will be able to see through what they have invested or what other properties that's available in the market right now. Okay. So I just want to give a bit of how the whole structure works. First thing first, as the investors, they're actually going through the Rainmakers to actually invest into properties. First thing first, second thing will be, we were actually using the funds that we collected from the investors and move it into the LLP to purchase the property. So if you look at the point 3, we are using the LLP to purchase the property A. All right. And upon purchasing the property, like I said, ownership is the most crucial part for most of the investors. So under this LP, we will actually give the ownership to the investors, which represent how much he owns on that property. All right. And therefore, the Rainmakers will then appoint the property management services to manage the property, and the property will generate returns, which is giving back to the property management services. Okay. And the property management, the PM, will then profit share to the LP and quarterly dividend distribution back to the investors. This is a whole entire system that we're trying to lay out, execute it, so that investors that invested in will feel secure. Why is it so? I'll explain by the next slide. Because we engage trustee to be our custodian sum, to hold the sums on behalf of the investors. The investors that invested in, they will have the direct ownership of the property. So basically, it's totally risk-free. As long as the property is still there, as usual, whenever we buy property, because we know that the physical building is always there. So as long as the property is still there, we know that our money will be there. All right. So a little bit of comparison in terms of what's the difference between direct investments and also the REITs part. So talking about the direct investment, everybody know that it's actually very good. I own it. I own 100%. All right. If I could generate a cash flow, positive cash flow, that would be great. And giving a tax break. But there's tons of cons under the direct real estate investment. First thing first, illiquid. I personally experienced it. I tried to sell it for 3 to 4 years. I couldn't liquidate. I couldn't sell the property in some way by you. So there are also limited investment, like I mentioned. I wanted to invest in the property, but I never able to get it through because I only can buy condos. The most I can go landed. And how many properties can I purchase? Am I right? And then it requires me time, energy, and also financing. All these are the obstacles that stopping us from investing in the properties. All right. So some savvy investors will say, yeah, I don't buy into direct. I transfer my money into REITs. There are also pros and cons in the REITs, correct? So REITs give you liquidity. REITs give you no direct commitment, any amount that you can invest in. Basically, they lower down the entry barrier and give you higher return. Because why? You don't have to prepay back to the bank. But there are problems with cons with the REITs because there's no control. REITs say the management of the REITs will decide what to buy. And you basically have no say and just go with it. All right. And there are also property specific risks, like, recently there's a Pavilion Bukit Jalil being sold, the whole entire mall to the Pavilion REITs. So it's usually left to right pocket, okay, usually. And all the investors on the REITs have no say. And everybody know that Pavilion Bukit Jalil is yet to be so matured. So this kind of returns, this kind of risk is what we are taking right now. Okay. And the other thing will be the interest fluctuations that will also affect in terms of investing into properties, because the higher the interest rate at this moment, the bank will guarantee interest rate, the OPR, where all the interest rate, all the rates will be affected because they need to repay back to the bank loan. So what is Rainmakers? Rainmakers combining the two pros in direct real estate investment and the REITs to become the Rainmakers. So we give you direct control. You choose what you want to invest. I want this condo. I want that condo. I want that commercial lot. You decide. Okay. And certainly you decide on the cash flow because we don't pay back to the bank. Basically, all the return that we generated back to your pocket. And same goes to appreciation, definitely. Liquidity, you don't have to sell the property in order for you to exit the property investment. I'll explain more how it goes. All right. And no direct commitments, and we lower down the barrier, we lower down the investment barrier, and definitely a higher dividend. Okay. So there's a few key differentiators here. What is so great about the Rainmakers? Have you ever thought of that buying property can be just one click? Go online, go to dashboard, I click one button, buy now or invest now. Basically, the next moment, the next 1 month or less than that, I own the property. And it was so easy that you don't have to go to the lawyer, you don't have to go to the bank, you don't have to go through a lot of things, and everything done with just a click. All right. And the key part here is fractional ownerships, because fractional ownerships opens up the opportunity for everyone. Even a mate that earned 1,500 a month, that he saved up the money, he could be a property ownership, but never in the mate's life that he thought that, or she thought that she can own the property. All right. And this is a fully managed services. We settle the whole ownerships, the whole payout. The Rainmaker will settle everything and repay back to the investors. So we incorporate some of the time sharing benefits here, where if the investor invested X amount, which is like 5 to 10%, they were entitled for a couple of days, like 2 to 5 days, complimentary stay over the year, and it's renewable on a yearly basis. Okay, beauty part is here. All the investors will have the voting rights on the property. So this is just like you invested in, you decide on all the matters related to the property in terms of distribution policy, capital expenditure, what to spend on the property, in terms of sales of the property. All these things can be voted on and off for the properties. Okay. Most importantly, transparency, and we do have some affiliates to let some earning opportunity for everyone here. Okay. So yeah, this is our business strategy. We come from Malaysia. We started in Malaysia. Ongoing, we will try to bring in more other projects. We start in Malaysia, and hopefully we bring in more projects from our neighbor countries. All right. And our market selection here is we start with urban markets. Cost effective, definitely. And we go for higher short-term rental. That's the only way that we could boost the returns for all the investors. And that's the only way that we could generate higher returns. Because as you all know that if you're earning an 800,000 condo at 1 million condominium, the maximum that you can rent out your unit for a long-term stay, probably about 3,000 to 4,000. So what kind of returns that you're talking about? 3%, 3% to 3.5%. But the return that you get it, you have to repay back to the bank. So basically, you make no money. In fact, anyone here that invested in property, you are losing money because you are topping up on the bank installment. You are topping up in terms of your building management fees, your cukai tanah, cukai pintu, most of the things. Basically, it's losing. That's the reason why we need to focus in the short-term rentals. All right, areas with good occupancy. This is someone that everybody knows about, desirable locations. It must be a good location. It cannot be somewhere around Gombak or Batu Cave or somewhere very suburban kind of areas. Okay, and it must be good surrounding amenity as well. So why with Rainmakers? These are the few things that it will clearly stated here to ensure that you understand what is the Rainmakers. First thing first, you will get the ownership. You will be part of the ownership of the property. Second thing here, there will be a passive income. On the quarterly dividends, we will give rental corrected. We will actually share it back to the investors. Third thing here, capital appreciation. So if it increased by 5%, this 5% belongs to you, to all the investors, not to us. All right. Fourth thing, investment transparency. There's a report, there's a dashboard that you can log in, you can access all the data anytime you want. All right. Reward systems on the fifth point, where those investors invest a little bit more, they actually get a complimentary stays. And we have an investment community here, where in the future, anything that you want or you guys think that is a good buy, is a good deal, share with us. We open up, we go to that area, we assess it, we go for the feasibility report and make sure that it's a good buy property, and we share it to the marketplace and everyone that could join in and buy the properties. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this will be a little bit on the competitor side. Fractional real estate investment platform is new, but you guys here are very lucky because you guys are in advance receiving this information, because fractional real estate investment is going to be a hype and boom in the next 3 years. I'm going to share with you some competitors happening in the market. Frac Property is an Australian company. It's actually starting in Australia. Fraction, is a Thai company. All right. Fractional, Singapore. Realty, US, incorporated blockchain. Casa is a Korea. That, you know how much Casa raised money? Casa raised 11 million US dollars in just 12 hours. Yeah, 11 million US dollars. Arrive is one of the biggest in the US, where backed by Jeff Bezos, where they actually completed almost 300 properties throughout the last 1 year plus, and they raised almost about 80 million to 100 million US dollars. So this is not new, yeah, guys. I just want to share with you saying that a fractional real estate investment in Malaysia is new, but in the market, it's not new. It's just like Uber started in Europe, in the West. Grab comes later. So I hope you guys get these informations clear, and we could bring it out to the market. June, can you open up Grace? I think Grace got some Q&A section here. Grace, can you hear me, Grace? Hi, Grace. You are permitted to talk because I saw you raise the hand. Sourcing for Grace. Okay, I think it's a mispress. Okay, it's okay. 1 second. Okay, so let me share with you how it works and how we actually going to benefit from this thing. Just 1 second. Yeah. This is our projects here. This is our project here. Anyone in KL will recognize this place. It's actually in Bandar Sunway. If you all notice that it's actually right above Sunway Pyramid Mall. So what happened is the middle part here, as you follow my cursor, this is Sunway Pyramid Hotel. On top of the hotel, there's a 17 floors apartments that built along the way where Sunway Pyramid was started back about 20 years ago. All right. So this unit here is perfect for short stay, because even these 3 floors, 1, 2, 3, Sunway Pyramid Hotel utilize these 3 floors for their hotel purposes. If the hotel fully booked, they will move the client to these 3 floors here. And all these are strata titles. And what we are doing here is we are offering fractional property acquisition. All right. It's why we go Sunway. It's very simple. There's only 5 points. Sunway Pyramid is just right above Sunway Pyramid Mall. Sunway Convention Center for business. Sunway Lagoon for kids, for leisure. Sunway Hospital, which is just across the road. And Sunway University. So Sunway has its own community. That's the reason why we go for it. So it would not be a seasonal things like Thursday to Sunday, very hype. Weekday, Monday to Thursday, going to be very dry. So it won't be the case. All right. So that's a little bit of content. This is the property summary. The property name is called Resort Suites Bandar Sunway. And it's a commercial title. It's a leasehold for 79 years. Total, there's about 280 units. So what we're going to do here is, if you look at this property proposal on the left, all these buildings are old and used up. All right. If you look at this TV box, it's like 15 years back, maybe my dad's that moment, where they are still running as Airbnb, and then their business is very, very good, but it's very run down. All right. What we need to do here is we do a super refurbishment here. We tear down the whole thing, and we're going to make it a 4 to 5 stars. I just say 4 to 5 star hotels. So on the right here is the after visions, where what we actually going to deliver to after we done up the whole thing. All right. And including the toilet and stuff like that. So on the floor plan, as you notice, the structure-wise is best for hotel usage. Why? It's only 457 square feet. When you walk in, there's a washroom on your left, there's a small kitchen and a wardrobe, there's a bed, there's a dining table, there's even a sofa bed. So it is completely ready for you, for the guests. So I just want to say, we did a lot of research. We bring in this property after doing our research. We bring in this data called NAPIC on HPROP, showing that 2016 to 2019, the price spiked up. And unfortunately, COVID hit, the pandemic hit, no sales for the last 2020 to 2022. It was silent. Now the market's trying to pick up back again, and it's crazy. A lot of people have been inquiring. All right. And if you look at this rental history, that's 80% occupancy throughout the last year. This source is from Agoda. And if you look at ADR, average daily rate, they are selling for 194 ringgit in 2021. All this thanks to COVID. But 2022, when the market reopened, is selling for 251. That's almost 30% hike up here. So guys, is this rate 251 or even higher is way, way better than some KL hotels. Okay, I'm just gonna cut short here a bit because I want to show you this. I'll show you this Agoda. Okay, can you see this slide here? I'm sharing the screen. This is Agoda website, yeah, agoda.com. All right, and you look at this Resort Suites Bandar Sunwing. This is actually one of our affiliates site lah. Their photo, they are still old photos. Yeah, they are still this current situation, the one that I showed you just now. All right, and you see what's the price they're selling? They're selling for 342. Okay, Resort Suites. This is the price that in the market at this moment, and it's a public info. You can go Agoda and check it out. Okay, so with this rate, okay, I'm using back historical rate 251. Stated here, average selling price 251. With the occupancy, we projected about 85%. This is because post-COVID, yeah, everybody just back to normal. With the rate that we collected, with the rental rate we collected, minus of utility bills, management profit sharing, with the rate that we receive here, we could deliver 8% back to the investors. Bear in mind, we are actually buying it with cash. So, and the rate here is 251. And the rate that you saw just now is 340 something. That's about 30%. So this rate, 8.7, will also increase by 30%. I will just say the range between 8 to 10%. So I think it's quite a decent rate for investors to consider because you own it, you own the property, and this is the rate that you're going to receive. So adding back capital appreciation of 2% a year, plus the rental yield 8.7%, could be more, and the gross revenue here is on 10.95%. I think it's a good deal. I don't know about you guys. Later on the Q&A, I'm going to ask what do you think on this Q&A? What do you think on this rate? All right. And I always give two scenarios, because not every day is Sunday. Assuming that's the next month that on a slow month, on the February is a slow month, what if the occupancy drops 60%? Okay, that's fine. I'm using back 251 ringgit, the rate, okay, with 60% occupancy. We are still delivering about 5.6 to 6%. Bear in mind, I'm using 251, the rate, yeah. So this rate will also give it back to the investors. So I'm talking about the range between 6 to 10%. Okay, with the capital appreciation here, that will give you 7.8%. All right. So this is what I've been talking about, investors or the owners' voting rights. So the owners basically will have a voting rights on the distribution policy, on the capital expenditure, on the sales of property. Okay, and also obtaining financing if the cash reserve depleted. I'll explain to you what is that. And if you look at this part, complimentary stay, investors that look at it into 5%, they will get 2 nights complimentary stay. 10% investors will be 5 nights complimentary stay. For people that out of KL Selangor, I would say Seremban, Kuantan, JB, Ipoh, Penang, if they invested into such deal for assuming 60 over 1,000. Whenever they come to KL, they don't have to book hotel. They just need to let us know earlier, in advance, probably like 3 weeks or a month earlier. They are coming through this date and they can utilize this package and stay for free. Yeah, I'm just giving some ideas what can they do with these complimentary stays. So yeah, this is how it works here. I explain to you details. The purchase price of the property costs 502,000. Okay, we will allocate 57,000 ringgit for property improvement, the refurbishment. Tear down the entire thing and redo it into a 4 to 5 star hotel stays. People will always ask, what if maintenance, repairs, like lao sui, water leaking, all these issues will come in and people ask what happened. So don't worry, okay? First thing first, it's a newly refurbished unit. It will last there for 3 to 5 years, no issue. Okay. Second thing, we have set aside something called cash reserve. Cash reserve is something that will sustain all the property repairs to pay for cukai tanah, cukai pintu, insurance, and any other things. We set aside 25,000 for this 500,000, which is 5% of it, more than sufficient. Okay. And I just want to say one thing, on the monthly rental receipt, we will also retain 10% of the rental to pump back into this cash reserve. This cash reserve acts like a sinking fund where people don't have to worry about repair. I invested 10,000. What if there's a certain repair? Will I need to pay money again? No. The answer is no. Don't worry. Everything being taken care of. You don't have to fork up an additional 1 cent for this property. All right. There's the acquisition cost here. This is the stamp duty. This is for the legal fees to acquire the property. There's a sourcing fees here where the company prepare all the agreements for all the investors to sign and progress next stage. So in total, we need to raise 628,380 ringgit. So this is the beauty part here. Investor will ask, I've been talking about ownership. How do we derive ownership? All right. I'm not too sure whether anyone here understands what is LLP, Limited Liability Partnership. It's the entity under SSM. Okay. All the investors that invested in, they will become the partners of the LLP. And we will use this LLP to acquire and purchase the property. So, which means that you are the partners of the LLP, and this LLP will purchase the property. So you own the property directly. All right. The Rainmakers will become the managing partners. We execute decision that brings in from the investors and talk to the property management and also the rest of the things. Okay. So each unit here is 10 ringgit. Total unit is 62,838 units. All right. Income distribution on a quarterly basis. So all the fees and charges, this is the fees and charges that investors don't have to worry, because monthly accounting fees, income distribution, property taxes, SSM, everything will be absorbed under the cash reserve. And the cash reserve is there to handle and pay for all the unforeseen circumstances. Okay. And the platform fees on the Rainmakers will charge 3% rental fees on the what collected. That's all. Okay. So next thing is, frequent question asked by investors. I've been paying money to your company. Then what happened if, how do I know what do you do with the money? So we understood and we take all the ring fencing of the funds for all the investors, because we are here for serious matter. We are not here to play around. So we engage UBB to be our custodian sum. So all the money that comes in from the investors will not credit to my company. All the money will credit into a trustee, which is the custodian sum. So they will hold the money and they will release the money to the, what do you call that? To the vendor, to the seller. All right. And GG Prop is actually the property manager that to ensure that we deliver the returns as what we promised and what we shown to the investors. Okay, guys. So we are almost the end of the talk, but any Q&A sessions that you all have in mind. Any Q&A, guys? Let me show you one more thing here. I want to show you the concept, these things that it works, basically is in the market. I'll show you something that's happening in the States now, all right? This is what we call Arrive. Okay, you guys see my screen, right? Yep. So this Arrive is one of the pioneer. They started way in the US, and only US can invest into it. All right. It's always our benchmarking. All right. So when we talk about property investment, this is what property investment going to be in the future. Okay. So you see, this is all currently live properties. They're 60% funded, 83% funded, and these all are coming soon. Okay. And let me show you some real case scenario. The loop here. So this property is for vacation rental, Airbnb and stuff like that. And all this property here it costs $910,000 US, including refurbishment costs, because the purchase price is $650. All right, including refurbishment, it costs $910,000. Look at how many investors invested into it. Is 1,286 investors. Back then, yeah, when I'm doing research and when I started the Rainmakers, I'm thinking conventionally, one property, one owner. The maximum, one property, 2-3 owners. Me, my sisters, my brothers, that's all. So that's what in mind, right? One property, I want to buy property, I must buy myself. Things has changed. No longer such execution level, because fractional allows anyone to invest, anyone to become the landlord. So this is what we are trying to push it through in Malaysia, so that we can open up good property. Because remember one thing, not all property is good properties. So we only secure good properties and offer it to the public. Yep. So this is what we are trying to do. And there are more. They have done more than that. So you guys can feel free to go to arrive.com, understand how it works, and just understand this concept is not new. It's coming hot, gonna hype up in the market. And you can look at this, a very normal house. It costs only $300,000 US. And that's about 1,090 investors into this property. So this is the power of fractional, where anyone can be the owner of this property. All right. And I stated clearly here, if you look at my screen, this is what we prepared. All investors will require to fill out the letter of intent to invest. And we stated here the prospectus number, all right, amount that they prefer, any amount that you prefer. And I've stated here clearly that GGen Lab will be conducting 3-month fundraising to complete on each property. If the minimum target not met, not successfully raised, we will fully refund back the amount to the investors. It's stated clearly, black and white. And within 14 days, we will sign the LP agreement. And then most crucial part here is all the investors will transfer the funds, not to GGen Lab Sdn Bhd, will transfer the funds to UBB Amanah Berhad, which is the custodian sum holder, trustee. And they need to sign up the information and sign up by the witness. There it goes. So the whole process here is to make investment in real estate accessible for everyone. So, yeah, I think it's time for us to take a Q&A session. Jun?
Yeah, Kelv,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you see the message from the question from Jen?
Just 1 second. Can I buy down the whole property? Okay, it's a very good question. Yes, you can. So what happened is a lot of people been buying down a portion of it. And on a gradually basis, that any investors that wanted to exit before the property sales, Jen, I mean, your option here is you can purchase the portion to increase your what you call your shareholdings in the property. So by assuming that I invested first, assuming 628,000, I invested first 10%, 62,000. Easy calculation. Along the way, next 1 year to 2 years, there's other seller investors trying to sell 5% out. And you can acquire the 5%, so your shareholding will increase from 10% to 15%. So gradually that you can increase your property investment as and when people wanted to buy, I want to sell, you can buy. Oh, I hope I answer you, Jen. Any other questions, guys? Feel free to ask any question that you have, because Jen raised out a very valid question, because that's how we acquire the property on a gradual basis. Don't forget, next 2-3 years to buy back wherever people want to sell is still a very short period, because your loan with the bank is 30 years. So even though you gradually buy back all the portions from other investors in down the road 5 years or 10 years, you shorten the whole progress by at least 70% faster. So yeah. Any other questions? Is there any collected questions, June? Probably sent to the panelists. Okay. 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 Jen, the question is there a possibility you will lease bungalow? What type of property you will lease? Okay. Our goal here, if you look at our standpoint in the website, in the pitch deck, we state very clearly that we only going for property that provide you a good returns. So I'm not favoring a lot of long stay. So I'm only pushing through all the short stay, which bungalow is a good choice. I have my friends doing bungalow for Airbnb, decent returns, about 8 to 12%, but it's a very seasonal kind of business. Weekends, and because the price of bungalow is higher, so they can fetch about 8 to 12%. So it's actually part of a deal here. So what we are aiming here is 2 things. 1, Airbnb short stays, hotels, commercial lots, even for business lot, like corporate towers. All these are good for returns. So this is what we are looking for. So yes, Jen, commercial titles, the bungalow might be one of the things that we will bring it in, but along the way, we must do a feasible report on that particular area, so that we make sure that we don't buy something that don't generate returns. So we must ensure that we get to provide a returns that match back to what you have invested. Yeah. So I hope I answer you. Okay, there's Raymond here. Estimate how long the whole process from invest until I get the first return. This is a very good question. So the moment I raise funds for one property, I'll do a 3 months period. It could be earlier. My first property for the Summit area closed within a month, about a month. So once I fulfill the first property, I will then move it on to purchase the whole SPA processes. Something that I couldn't avoid, guys, because I still need to go to a lawyer to talk to the vendor lawyer, the normal process, and going through the land office to transfer titles. That will probably take about 2.5 months to 3 months. All right. Because we are buying cash, so it could be a faster period. 3 months and 2.5 to 3 months. We would then spend 3 to 4 weeks to refurbish the whole unit to make it a presentable and to fetch good returns. So in overall terms, assuming now is April, yeah, I'm talking about April. So it will be like 5, 6, 7, another month until 8. So by end of August, this unit that we require will start generating returns. And we hope to push it through to the public in all the OTA, which is online travel agency, Booking.com, Agoda, Traveloka, Trips.com, all these OTA so that we can fetch good returns. So we are talking about August, and then we pay by quarterly. So 7, 8, 9, the first rental will be by October. I hope I answer you, Raymond. Okay. What is the minimum investment amount and how is my ownership represented? How can I cash out? So minimum investment amount here is only 500 ringgit. The reason why we push it so low because we want everyone to be able. Even my first project, my niece, aged about 21, 22 years old, she still a student in Taylor's, and she put in unbound money that she collected from the Chinese New Year, and she put in a few thousand in the first property. So at the age of just 21, 22 years old, basically she's a property owner. And talking about how the ownership being represented, we have a dashboard. So all the owners of the property are under the LLP. It's a public info here. You can go to the ssm.com.my, ssm4u.com, and then you can go and download the LLP partnership agreement. All the ownership of the partners will be listed under the SSM, SSM for you under the LLP segment. And it is all transparent. It's not just our dashboard, it's our dashboard plus the SSM units. Okay. And how can you cash out in the future? For the first year, we don't allow cash out. We hope that you understand this is property investment. This is not shares, crypto, and other things. It's a very low risk alternative investment. So the cash out on the second year onwards, you could let us know that if you want to cash out, we will find a substitute for you and to replace your holdings in the LP. I hope I get you right, Jun. Yep. Any other question, guys? Feel free to ask. I hope you understand that the entire thing here that I want to share is to share my knowledge that fractionalizations is something gonna be helping out all the property investors. I just want to share one story with you. 2018, 2019, anyone that understand the pain of COVID, they've been happily buying property in 18, 19. And before COVID struck, a lot of people lost their job. And all the investment they put in, few 100,000, even 100,000 or 80,000 on the property investment, they lost the job. They try to embrace the COVID period, which been dragged on for 2 years, right? 1 year plus. So thereafter, right, in 2022, last year, there's more than 1,000 property being let along. It's actually quite heart pain. I felt the heart aching situation here because it's an investment. And because of that investment, I screw up my credit scoring. And then my investment on the property all gone, and the bank repossessed my property. Basically, the whole thing being screwed. And I'm sorry for my word screwed, but it's very pain to see all these situations. But yeah, I hope you understand that property investment does not equal to affecting your lifestyle, or paying back a bank loan and all these things. What is the minimum amount? Can I make monthly payment to acquire the property? Okay, Jen, minimum amount is 500 ringgit. You don't have to make monthly payment. It's a close-ended, which means, right, for this property, assuming this is the property, this cup is the property here. we open up because we need to raise 628,000 to buy this cup, correct? And once we fulfill, it's ended. So that's the reason why on the prospectus here, I'm stated here, TRM 2023, RS stand for Resort Suites 002. 001 has been completed. It's no longer available because the investors that invested earlier has make their funds in credited, and we move on to second unit. That's the reason why 002. And like I said, along the way, 2 to 3 years down the road, if any investors that wanted to sell and you're happy with the returns, you want to increase your ownership, you can buy down their units. And alternatively, what you can do is when we launch 003, 004, you can just invest any small amount, any amount that you feel comfortable to buy down different area in different allocation. So this is what we are trying to tell and share to the public. I show you one picture that's very, very easy to understand. 1 second. This is the slide that oh, sorry. One second. This is another US. All these are US because the West has been very, very they've been very aggressive in terms of this how they acquire the properties. So in the East, we are still very slow. We are still sorry, I can't open up the video that I'm trying to show you is there's a lot of property here and there. You don't have to own 100% of each property. If you want to, you can gradually buy, but you can own every property that you have in the market. You have a certain portion there. So you diversify the risk. You diversify the risk that you have in your portfolio. So I just want to show you this. This is our dashboard. Okay. Our testing dashboard, because our site, we are still developing the whole software. So all the investors that came in through the Rainmakers, they will be able to see what they invested in under the account overview, under the portfolio, and also the marketplace. So this is what they see. This is what they understand before they invest. You see all this information? Yeah, exactly what we publish and what we said just now. So this is how the entire workflow for the Rainmakers. So I think I answer you, Jen. So the minimum is only 500 ringgit, and you can make monthly payment because you consider this as forced savings. You can acquire more properties. The hashtag here that we're trying to make a hype here is you can own 12 property in a year. I think no one else can do it in Malaysia. So this is the hype that we're trying to push to the market, that one person can own 12 property or even more. So yeah. Any other question, guys? Feel free to ask. Yep. But I just want to tell. Okay, cool. So I think that will be all for my presentation today here. I wish that you have some takeaway. But for interested, anyone interested here, feel free to drop. Yeah, let me show you the numbers so that you all can take the numbers. Yep. 013. Sorry, is this? Zero 013 3300 656. So feel free to drop. I will also ask the members to contact you if there's any questions. Feel free if you want to have a one-to-one session with me, let me know. I'm happy to do so that we could actually share this thing to you. And at the same time, before you all leave, we are also giving out what we call as the affiliate programs at this moment. What is the affiliate program is, let me show. For any parties that you could introduce the members to us, we are giving out a referral fees. So this is the reason why, because we want to build the investors community, and we are giving out what we earn to the referrals, and we hope to grow this community healthy, because we are not here to make money from you guys. What we hope here is we can make a real estate investment platform to be accessible by everyone. So if you have any question, feel free to ask. Let us know. We'll be happy to bring it through and go through with you all. Okay, guys. So thank you so much. I appreciate for all your time here. I'll be actually hosting weekly webinar. Stay tuned in our Facebook. Stay tuned in our emails. I will add everyone here in our newsletter. Any question that you have, just call us up. My office is in Sunway, on the Sunway Pinnacle. If you want to walk in and visit our office, feel free. We just want to make sure that we are here for serious matter. So anything you have, just let us know. All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining the webinar today. Like Kelv mentioned, we will be having regular webinars in the future. As he mentioned as well, our dashboard is currently in development, and it will be when we are able to share it with you guys, we will most likely have another webinar to just go through the entire dashboard to show you how it works on live on our dashboard. That will be coming very soon. And again, if you guys have any questions, or you would like a one-on-one session with us or with Kelv, again, just drop us a message, and we will happily entertain you guys. So yeah, that's all for now. I'm going to end this webinar. Thank you everyone again, and we'll see you next time.